What is up, everybody? This is your boy, Teran Rodriguez, host of Set Point, here on OATIZ Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Back with another interview before the NCAA men's volleyball tournament. And with me, I have Jeff Nygaard, head coach of USC men's volleyball. Jeff, how are you doing today?
Teran, I really love the passion and the self-hype that you just brought in there. It's fantastic to be here with you.
It's great to have you, and it's great to have you again. It feels like yesterday that I just went down to Galen Center to interview you, Sterling, and Wes, but let's do this thing. So you're back in the big dance since 2019. How does it feel to be back in the big dance after a lot of twists and turns and all that?
Well, it feels great. Proud of this team, proud of this group, proud of their leadership. They're working their tails off. They're competing every single day. So, we've earned the right to be in the NC2As, and now let's go 1-0 against Belmont Abbey.
I was about to say Belmont Abbey is kind of an intriguing opponent. They had last week off, so they're a little bit rested and refreshed, and they're already in Hawaii as we record this interview. So, what can you say about Belmont Abbey, and have you seen film on them for now?
I've seen a little bit in preparation, just getting to Hawaii and all that type of stuff. So we've had our heads in the bunker, so to speak, just to button up all the logistics and all that type of stuff. But by the time we get there, on the plane is like 5.5 hours of preparation time. So we'll definitely familiarize. And we have not taken a single team for granted all year long. There's no exceptions here moving forward. We know every single team that's in this tournament has an opportunity to win. I actually love the 12 field. I personally would love to see the 16 field, but I just think that there's a lot better and more marquee matchups with this many teams in at this time. So we're looking forward to it.
That was actually going to be my next question. The field got expanded to 12 teams after, unfortunately, you all and UC Irvine were the first two out from last year's tournament. Talk to me about how a 12-team field is so much better and how a 13-team field is going to be even more better next year once the Great Lakes Valley comes into play.
Well, first of all, are you sure we're going to 13? Like, I haven't heard that piece. My assumption is that it would just knock to 4 wild cards if that's the direction that it goes.
So yeah, Great Lakes Valley is a new conference, and I think the NCAA say that new conferences can't be an automatic qualifier in year one, but then afterward, they should be good to go, from what I've heard.
Well, if I had my wish, I think 16 would give an even better sample of the volleyball that's out there because there's a ton of parity. You've got all of these grassroots bubbling up. There's just going to be better volleyball over a greater amount of colleges and teams. I think volleyball is on the rise in a lot of different ways. And we all know that come the Olympics, it's one of the top 2, top 3 watched sports in the Olympics. So we know that it's always on the rise and doing great. So the more we get in the NC2A, the more exposure, the more eyeballs. I can't tell you how many times people have come into a gym or our gym and just go, we had no idea it was like that. And so that feeling alone is something that we need to capitalize on for volleyball.
I 100% agree. And it just for the entire year, not just for like one day being the national championship and for the NCAA tournament. It should be all year for NCAA men's volleyball.
I agree. Definitely. I agree fully.
So let's talk about your team and let's talk about the MPSF tournament. So that was the second time you've been out of the state of California, and you did pretty good in the MPSF tournament. What are your takeaways from the MPSF tournament, and what do you think you learned from that tournament?
Honestly, I think one of the big keys, and this is something we actually banked on, was we got to go play BYU twice at BYU a week before, and then we had the Pepperdine week. And we 100% looked at that as preparation for the MPSF tournament. Obviously, we're going there to win those 2 games the week before, but we also familiarized ourselves with Provo, with that gym, with the transition up into the mountain air, all that type of stuff. And I think at the top of the list of things that we've definitely improved at is as we progressed in the MPSF tournament, I think our first contact was getting better and better. So serve reception and our serving. So that's a challenge when you go there and you're just not used to it. But I think our team handled that probably the best I've seen.
I was about to say, where does Smith Fieldhouse rank in terms of crowd level, in terms of like crowd raucousness and loudness and whatnot?
Well, let me expand that for a second because you think about it. We did Smith Fieldhouse for the second week of conference, second to last week of conference. Then we got to go play at Pepperdine, and that was the last night that the Fieldhouse was in use. So we had two rocking environments, and then we go play at BYU, which I mean they always have really good crowds, great fan support. It's a really high energy, high volume type of place. And to me, that's just even more preparation for going to the Stan Sheriff Center and competing in the NC2As. So the progression at this point of year for us has really lined up in a great way.
You read my mind because Stan Sheriff Center is on the horizon. And if you saw the Big West Conference tournament, their fans showed up in flocks at Brent Event Center. So, how much of an honor is it to play there for a second straight year? Because I remember you played there last year for the Outrigger.
Well, first of all, our team absolutely loves going to Hawaii. They love playing in Hawaii. For me, and this maybe this is a little bit shocking, I personally played when the Stan opened back in 1995. And I think they had somewhere between 10 to 12,000 people. I don't even know what the capacity is. So getting to play in that energy, getting to play in a place that respects volleyball and just loves high level volleyball, going to play and compete in the NC2As, I mean, as a competitor, this is a dream scenario where you want the big crowd, you want to play good teams. I mean, you can't ask for a better situation. And we know full well that there's no such thing as an easy game, whether it's the MPSF or just anything that's going on. So lining up wise, there's a lot of things happening for us, and we're stoked to go.
I love to hear it. So, I actually want to talk about the Pepperdine win. I know you said you had familiarization, but what do you think you learned from the losses against Pepperdine, and how do you think you applied them to that win? Because I had a feeling in the back of my mind, maybe, just maybe, if USC learns everything that they learned from the Pepperdine losses, they can apply them to the semifinal.
I think that, and there's a lot of things that you could wrap into this, and some of it was just leading into, I mean, that's a really tough serving team. So that kind of goes into that first contact volleyball and handling their service pressure. I think that we definitely had some healthy athletes again that were able to go out and compete for us. I think that we had a starting lineup out there. I think that was one of the first times in a while that we had both 7-footers on the court. And I think that having those guys just dominate and go off in the middle was really a big piece of the puzzle for us. And when you're talking about the vision of the program and trying to be dominant in that part of the court, then those guys did a phenomenal job for us. So we got a lot of good pieces. We got a lot of good players. We got a deep bench, and we were able to use a lot of them. But, you go back to throughout the season is we've been blessed to be able to go deep into the bench, and guys are stepping up and just giving us performance. So, this is something we actually just said a few minutes ago in a team meeting. It's like, I love this team. I trust this team. I'm proud of this team, and I believe in this team.
So let's talk about some of those players that stepped up. One player that I thought really stepped up was Sterling Foley. He's been battling some injuries here and there. What can you say about Sterling and how he's able to give you all that good security blanket outside of Dylan Klein and all those other guys?
Sterling's a winner, and he's a complete volleyball player, and that's something I saw him doing from age 15, and he continues doing it. I think he's capable of doing pretty much everything on a court, and he's comfortable getting his voice out and leading. So for him, this is just him being him, and he's an outstanding volleyball player.
And then your middles, you said they were on the court for the first time. Parker Tompkinson obviously was big, and then Wes.
I meant together.
Oh, yeah. But talk to me about your middles and how they've really made an impact for your team, not just in the tournament, but in the entire season.
I say stuff like this all the time, but what you guys get to see on the court is there's two big physical middles that are doing great things. And what you guys don't get to see is behind the scenes and how much these guys, as well as our middle core, are students of the game, learning the other team, learning what blocks we want to put into place, what routes, These guys are spending a lot of time just preparing so they can go out and execute. And on top of that, yes, they're big and physical. So I'm not going to say it's a surprise when they go out and do what they do. I'm always thrilled to see high-level volleyball out of the middle of the court as an ex-middle myself. It's something that resonates with me on a personal level, but it's just great seeing the bigs doing that.
So one player I did actually get a chance to see was Andrew Chapin. Talk to me about implementing Andrew in the offense, if that's what you were aiming for.
Well, we've trained this team to be prepared and next guy up. And that goes again into what's behind the scenes is that we get to see all these guys develop throughout the year. So when we call upon any player to go out there, they're prepped. And we've seen it so many times that when the next guy goes up, because not everyone always plays a perfect match, but we know we got someone primed and ready to go that gives us an upgrade at a position that we need. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. We're a team, and we're in here to win. And when you see, as an example, back to BYU, we had to lean into Noah Roberts. Cooper was playing okay, but we went to Noah, and he went absolutely off. And when you talk about the team culture, we get in the locker room, and there was nobody more fired up to see that than Cooper. So we're definitely a team that puts the team ahead of anything. And when we call on somebody, it's their job to go out and perform. But everyone's always ready to go out there and give the performance that we need. So in terms of Andrew, he's been doing great things, and we've leaned on him, and he's performing at a level that we like.
You know, it's always great to have that sort of depth. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Long Beach State with their situation with Dane Hillis. He managed to have himself a big time block in the fifth set against Hawaii, but I digress. So one player that I obviously have to give love to is Johnny Dykstra, the libero, hashtag justice for liberos. Talk to me about Johnny and how he's just upped his game and how you call him the silent assassin.
Johnny is highly intense. When you first meet him, he's kind of quiet and soft-spoken, but the longer you pay attention to him, I don't know. I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I would say I don't know if we have a bigger competitor on our team. That being said, there's probably about 15 guys that would take offense to that. But he is extraordinarily competitive. He's extraordinarily intense and focused. And he thinks he can pass every ball in the court and dig every ball in the court. So when he doesn't, you see his reaction. So when he goes out there and performs at a high level, I think that's what he holds the standard of himself to, which, I mean, obviously, the better he plays, the better off our team's going to be. So I can't say it's a surprise. That's something that I've seen from him for multiple years now, and I just love seeing him own it.
Teran Rodriguez, host of Set Point on IA Sports Radio with Jeff Nygaard, USC men's volleyball coach. Just a few more questions, then I'll let you go. So have there ever been any funny stories this season? I know you haven't been able to travel too much, but tell me any funny stories or any memorable stories this season.
Well, I put me on the spot. I thought we were doing analysis. Funny stories. You know, every single day with these guys is a blessing. I mean, that there is such a level of brotherhood and brotherly love, which can bring with it heckling and, you know, poking and prodding. And you see that all day, every day with these guys. And just today, even in practice, you know, the second team obviously wants to take it to the first team in a big way for a lot of good reasons. And so they had a great day of practice and they let everybody know about it. But that's just the nature of a top-level team, is that they're going to get in each other's grill. They're going to hold each other accountable. They're going to challenge one another. In terms of a funny story, it's like just spend a few minutes with this team and everything becomes funny.
You know, I remember being at that practice that one day, and I remember Wes was singing "Happy Birthday" or whistling "Happy Birthday." It was pretty darn funny.
Well, see, there you go. It's like, that's the flip of it. Maybe I'm just in the forest too long, because that's Wes being Wes. So you get to see that and you get to extrapolate that one piece. But Wes is genuinely Wes. It's like I love being surrounded with genuine, authentic people being themselves.
I love to hear it. So if this is probably something I would ask Sean Olmstead, but if I ever want to go down to Provo, what do you think some of the best places to eat are? You don't, if you don't
Oh,
have an answer, don't worry.
sure. Well, no. I'm not going to go brand names on this. It's more they have first night we did a Brazilian steakhouse that was phenomenal. Then we did an Italian place that was phenomenal. I guess we can do a shout out to Cubby's, which I mean that you can't ask for better college food. And I made the reflection that I've been going there since 1991, and the food scene in Provo has upgraded 100-fold. So yeah, you can have any. There's a lot of great food spots there now, which is fantastic.
I love to hear it. I will make note of that in case I ever want to come down to Provo.
Oh, you're
So,
just looking for recommendations?
yeah, I mean, just something that it happens in the back of my mind. But well, if I ever want to go down to Provo, that's something I'll make note of.
Fair point.
So I do want to ask this of you. You've been coaching for quite a bit. I do want to ask this.
Yep.
What is your biggest volleyball ick?
Oh, holy smokes. My favorite volleyball ick. I don't think anyone's ever phrased it that way. Um, if I had to pick one, I can think of a lot of other people's volleyball icks. I personally just look at it as like, don't ever undersell yourself. It's like, just be the best version of yourself. So, somebody that sort of gives up on a ball or just doesn't go after it or something like that, when I know that they're capable of it, that's something that I'm just not, that doesn't sit well with me. It's like somebody who I know is capable of doing so much that doesn't, that's probably something that bothers me the most.
I love it. Everyone has that different volleyball ick, and yours is definitely a respectable answer. So, some
Yeah.
more questions, and I'll let you
I,
go.
I believe in potential, but potential has to be realized.
Couldn't have said it any better. So, now that we've pretty much gotten out of the regular season and now you're in the NCAA tournament, I feel I should ask this question to you once again. USC wins the national championship if they blank.
Win the last point of the year.
So nothing hasn't changed. That's
No, sir. That's holding true.
the greatest advice anyone could ever get. And then lastly, talk to me about your coaching staff, about Rory Prager, Gary Yee, and everyone else.
I'm surrounded by brilliant volleyball minds. When I first bring them on, my first statement is all I want from you is to do everything you can to make this the best team we can. If there's something going on that we can do better, whether I like it or not is irrelevant. We're after what's best from this program. And I can tell you flat out that Gary, Paul, and Rory 100% follow through on that exact aim.
And I meant to say Gary Sato. I'm sorry, not Gary. Yeah, I have too many Garys on the mind. But yeah,
No
your
worries.
questions. What's up?
I said, no worries. Gary's been a trusted, loyal coach with me for 11 years.
Absolutely, everyone does love Gary, and I forgot to mention Paul. But you do have a really good coaching staff, and you a great coach is nothing without its staff. That's my old mo.
Couldn't agree more. And I don't ever want to be the smartest person in a room. So thank God we don't have that problem.
I love it. All right. So before we sign on off, do you have any other shout outs or thank yous you want to give before we get on out of here?
Our amazing Trojan family. I know that they're going to be down there in flocks and droves. The last time we played there, they found a way to get all their seats together, and man, they battled with the crowd there, and I think they did a really great job. So we're looking forward to having that Trojan family down there and playing some good volleyball.
Yeah, those tickets are going to be selling out quick. So hopefully, for the sake of USC fans, knock on wood, they'll be able to get some because I hear the bowl is like selling out very quick.
More than likely. Well, that's what it's supposed to be.
It's going to be a historical weekend considering Hawaii's hosting two matches and then they'll be playing in one of those matches. So it's going to be fun. But listen, Jeff, thank you for your time. I appreciate you jumping on. I know you're very busy, but it really means a lot. He is Jeff Nygaard. I am Teran Rodriguez of Set Point on iSports Radio. I will see you next time. Fight on.
Thank you, Teran. Appreciate you.